Welcome back to the Milwaukee Show, and of course, we are talking about the Vegas Golden Knights and how they have won Lord Stanley Cup, hoisting that gorgeous trophy above their heads, all of them kissing it one by one, knowing that they have been crowned the Vegas Golden Kings of the NHL. And 6 years in, as Bill Foley predicted, and they did it in absolute domination fashion. If there ever was a team to win the Stanley Cup and looking like they deserved to win it, this was the run. Tampa Bay, sure, they were good, but they were pushed to the limits against the likes of the New York Islanders, right? The Colorado Avalanche, sometimes looking like maybe they could be beaten, but overall they did look like they won. They were the best team. But the Vegas Golden Knights, this is a different story. This was a team that was unstoppable. No team had any way of slowing them down. And I think this Game 5 here, beating the Panthers 9-3, is the perfect metaphor for their entire playoff run. This was the one where Vegas, 9-3, winning in domination fashion, being able to score goals and not letting anything in except when they had a couple bad flaws or maybe just a bad bounce or something like that, or the other team just getting I don't want to say lucky break, but getting just a break to score a goal, right? And for overall, this game I think perfectly sums up how Vegas won this, where no matter what the other team did, they might have got even 3 goals in. It doesn't matter because Vegas is going to score 9 and shut you up, and they never looked like they could lose this matchup. Never. Not for 1 second did Vegas look like they could ever be eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs. Not once, not for one series did they look like they could be. Against the Jets in round 1, the Jets with a few pretty good star-studded players in Scheifele, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Neil Pionk, I guess Morrissey was gone, so I guess not really Morrissey. Nikolai Ehlers, Kyle Connor, and Connor Hellebuck. One of the best goaltenders in the world, and guess what? They made him look like an absolute fool on the ice every single game, except game 1, but whatever. And they made them look like absolute trash and garbage and pathetic losers on the ice every game. They couldn't get anything on them, and they won one game, and that was the first game of the series where Vegas looked horrible, but Vegas, that was just a bad night. They all must have ate like something bad the night before, or someone poisoned them. I don't know. I'm not going to make any claims, but something was wrong with the team, and they went on and swept them 4 games, and as they should have. Next round against the Edmonton Oilers, 4-2 series win where they shut down Edmonton and their 2 best players in the entire world in McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Sure, they would score a couple goals, but it doesn't matter. Vegas would win 5-2. Leon and Connor might have scored 2 goals a night. Doesn't matter. Vegas scored 6, and they shut out everybody else. And they made Stuart Skinner, once again, a goaltender from the regular season that looked pretty okay, and making him look like he was riddled with holes. They were like a machine gun going through cardboard, and that is what they did to Stuart Skinner and the Edmonton Oilers. They shut them down, and they killed them offensively. And then, going into Dallas, what a way to make a team. Dallas Stars fought through hell in round 1 against the Minnesota Wild. Went through such a skilled competition against the Seattle Kraken. Finally making it to the Western Conference Finals, and guess what? Vegas made them look like they were a JV hockey team at the bottom of the standings. They were absolutely abysmal, and once again, they take one of the best goaltenders in the world in Jake Ottinger, and once again, like a machine gun through cardboard, just riddling him with holes. He could not stop anything, and it was in Vegas. Once again, shutting down the other team, and whenever Dallas would finally get a run, Adin Hill was all there to back them up. And here we are against the Florida Panthers, a team that found its way through destiny to get to this point. And guess what? Vegas said, you have no chance against us, and rightfully so. They shut down the Florida Panthers every single game except one. But they did look a little bit off. Once again, poisoning thing might have happened, which fair enough for the Florida Panthers. They needed something, but it didn't work very long because Vegas, with their strong immune systems, they got it out of their system, and they once again beat the hell out of them. and beat them 2 games in a row and win this thing 9-3 in Game 5 to hoist that cup in front of the home crowd wearing those amazing retro jerseys and those golden jerseys. Vegas was on fire. The crowd was cheering. That guy, the announcer guy, was going all night long saying their names and saying whatever the hell he says, scoring for your Vegas, or whatever the hell he says, going all night long. Aiden Hill was on fire, and that is just what they did. Vegas, every single turn, made the other team look like losers. That's what they did. That is what Vegas does best, is that they didn't let any moment they were the better team. Every game, for all 60 minutes plus out there, when it went into overtime, during the regulation, all of their skaters were out skating, outplaying, and outworking the other team. Every single player that they played up against, they had nothing against the Golden Knights. Sure, McDavid and Leon could go out there on the ice, but guess what? Every single other player out there is going to be dominated against. Every team against them, the goaltenders had nothing against them. The offense, whether they could even get a shot on net because their team's blocking so many shots, was in this game. Vegas played a perfect playoffs, and what's the most shocking thing to me is that for not 1 second were they pressed in this whole playoff run. Never once. Usually we see like Tampa Bay. They went to when they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, they always had like a Game 7 against like the New York Islanders, right? They would go to Game 7 against like the Capitals or something like that, right? We all remember those series. I mean, they looked like they had they were put against the wall. They were put against the wall, and they had to fight through the adversity, right? Every winning team had that one series, right? Maybe other than Colorado. Colorado was pretty damn good, and I feel like they were never really in that scenario. But Vegas was kind of different, because Vegas was so good at what they did. Colorado, it looked like they could be maybe in a little bit of trouble, but Vegas, not once were they the one in the pressure cooker. Not once were they the team on the line, on the edge, hanging off a cliff that need to pull themselves up to survive, right? Not once did that happen. Vegas was the one who knocks. They were the Walter White of this whole playoffs. Their back was never against the wall. They were never the ones that needed to fight for their lives. They were the ones making the other team scared for their lives, scared for their careers, scared that this is their last chance to win anything, and they suffocated the life out of every other team they played against, and it was just phenomenal. This team, they scored the most goals of a playoff team since the 2013-2014 Stanley Cup winning LA Kings with 88 goals. I think they actually tied each other, or it was 1 goal less for Vegas. Regardless, Vegas, it's been 10 years since the last team scored as many goals as they did in the playoffs. So offensively, they were shining. And also, I was taking a look at it. A lot of their players, like Eichel and Marchessault, Stone, they're all up there in points, right? They're all up there in getting goals. Take a look at the last year playoff runs and their players, right? A lot of the players in Golden Knights are getting up to 10, 13 goals, up there in 9 or 7 goals. Take a look at the Avalanche, right? Their guys aren't getting up there. Like, their highest scoring guys, sure, like McKinnon, I think he had like 13 goals, but after that it drops off a way bit and goes down to like 6 goals, 2 goals. Same thing for Tampa Bay. They'd have like maybe one guy up there with like 9 goals, but everyone else is at like 8, 7, 6, 5. They're not as high scoring. Vegas had star-studded players, the depth of their offense, and they had the best defense bar none. Last year, and I really think this is true, I think the most important thing for a team is their defensive core. And I don't mean like defense wins championships or offense wins championships. I think that's a complete debate, but I think the most important thing for a team to have is a defensive core that is so good, that can play offense and defense, and they shut down plays, right? And Vegas, that's what they did. Every single 60 minutes of the game, they had 3 lines that they would roll out there of defensemen that are just amazing. Pietrangelo, Whitecloud, Martinez, McNabb. So good. Just defensively, they shut down everything. They blocked shots, so many shots. And when all else failed, they had Aiden Hill in the net, or at the beginning of the playoffs, Laurent Brossoit, being able to shut down everything the other team threw at them their way. And Aiden Hill was so good. Hill, which I will say, I got to see him in person at the Tucson Arena a lot of times. It was so, and it's just kind of crazy that I got to see who now wins the Stanley Cup. And I gotta say, personally, I think Marchessault getting the Conn Smythe was the right choice. I don't think it should have been Stone. I feel like his goals throughout the playoffs, I think it was more... I hate calling teams lucky or guys lucky because you still have to bury the puck when you get an opportunity to, but I feel like a lot of his points, it was sometimes like, oh, puck, oh, it's in. Like, sometimes you got to just put the thing in the back of the net. I feel like his... he was not more important than Jack Eichel, who was the heartbeat of the team, and he was absolutely robbed a lot in that Dallas Stars series. I think he should have gotten more points, but he was snake-bitten, and Jake Ottinger's only goal was to shut him down. So, Jack Eichel, I feel like because he was shut down, I think that does lower him, and Marchessault was the original Golden Knight, who's the best player since that original picking. I personally would say is he's the best one out of the original 6 misfits, as they like to call them, which is kind of an okay name. So Marchessault winning it, I think, is the right choice. And Aiden Hill, I don't think he was the main reason they won the Stanley Cup. He was phenomenal when he was needed to be, but that's the thing. He didn't need to be. He even admitted that he's got the best defense in the league in front of him, which I know every goaltender probably says that. But still, I do think that's true, though. I mean, the team blocked so many shots, and I think when it comes to Hill, he was phenomenal, but he wasn't the reason they won, especially that Dallas series. He had nothing to do with it. This series, I gotta say, do you really think if Aiden Hill wasn't even there, that Florida could have beaten them their 7-goal victories? I don't even know if they could have done that. So, to me, Marchessault was the right pick, and overall, the Vegas Golden Knights, a dominating team that outworked, outskated, outplayed every single team they played. 60 minutes on the ice, all 18 skaters were phenomenal. Everyone down to Keegan Colasar, Nicholas Waugh, William Carrier. Those guys, those bottom guys are what make a team great. And those players out there on the ice, they put 150% every time they were out there, getting in their hits, crashing the net, causing controversy. And then up the lineups, Chandler Stevenson with his speed, William Karlsson just being that ace in the deck, Stone and Eichel just being the heartbeats of this team, Marchessault being the finisher on every time he was on the ice, right? The whole team, absolutely phenomenal. No other team could hold a candle to them, and it was just amazing. Vegas deserves the Stanley Cup. I gotta say, I was personally cheering for Florida, but I can see handedly that the Vegas Golden Knights, they deserve the Stanley Cup. They deserve it, and Vegas, they did it. They did it. Congratulations. They really deserve it. No, and I gotta say, my craziest thing is that they were never pressured. Their back was never against the wall, and to me, I misread that. To me, I kept thinking that they got lucky draws, and I will say, I think Florida might have lucked their way into the finals. I do think they won that Boston series as a team, but that Toronto series, Toronto did not deserve to be there. They got a lucky draw in Tampa Bay that Tampa was absolutely just a train wreck going to the playoffs, and Toronto was able to take advantage of them, and then Florida, rightfully so, killed the Maple Leafs. And then against Carolina, I feel bad the most for Sergei Bobrovsky. Sergei Bobrovsky, the best player, in my opinion, the best player of the playoffs up until the finals, and he does not deserve this beating that he got. This absolute shellacking, I saw a word used, that he got tonight is a shame. But overall, it is what it is. I feel bad for Sergei. The rest of the Cats, they did not deserve to win the cup. Their heart was not out there, and it's because Vegas was making them spin. Vegas had every answer. Florida would pick up the puck, and Vegas would go like, screw you, get it back. And they put it in the back of the net. Florida, good try, but not tonight. Vegas, Congratulations, you've been crowned the champs, and the Stanley Cup once again goes to truly an amazing team, and that is all I gotta say. So thank you for watching this, and if you have anything to say about my microphone, I've got a new one, but because this is the final video of the season, I will retire this microphone for next video and going forward. Maybe it'll be back once in a while. We'll see what happens. But that's all I gotta say. Thank you for watching this. If you've made it this far, please, I'm begging you, pick up your free subscription. And until next time, too sweet. Have an amazing day. Congratulations to the Vegas Golden Knights. They hit the jackpot. And now we'll see what happens from here on out. Because I'll take a look at the team. Because I don't know how their future looks. But until next time, ta-ta for now.